Hey, what's up, fellow model train enthusiasts? This is Lone Wolf 777, broadcasting from California. So today I'm going to be talking about what is a model train show for you and me. What does it mean? What is the purpose? So on and so forth. This is for generally targeting newer people to come into the hobby who have never touched a model train in their life. So let's go over what the layouts are, the vendors are, and some other stuff. So let's go over the layouts first that are always usually displayed at a model train show. They can vary from different scales like G scale in this photograph here, from HO scale, N scale, O scale, S scale, Z scale, N scale if I didn't mention that one already. There's so many different layouts that are shown at these events to basically show the public how fun model railroading can be. It doesn't really have to be one that's geographically or historically grounded in a time or place of a historical value or events. Thousands of people come to these events to look at these things and say, wow, how awesome is that? And you know, a lot of people sometimes don't really come to these events, so it's like a 50-50. In this case, you see in these photographs here, 1,000 people and then some more just came right after we did. We got there very early. My ride and myself, got there so early in the morning that there was barely any people. But as soon as it hit around afternoon, thousands of people just lined up outside the doors, and it became so crowded to really just, move around and be able to, here's an HO scale layout, by the way, to really just move around and be able to get the stuff that you can get at the vendors to, basically get all the old model train, old new stock, as it's called. But we'll go into that a little later. Again, there's so many model train layouts like this G scale one. This one was made by, I think it was a private individual, and then there's the HO scale one here, or N scale. I can't remember which. Pretty sure this is HO or N. I can't be sure. I don't remember which scale this one was. I'm pretty sure it looks like it's N scale. Anyways, so a lot of people, and here's a mining G scale layout that was really cool. It made all these sounds, and all the LEDs that you can see here were really cool. I'm sorry that I keep jumping back and forth, but I'm going to try to get a little more professional now. Anyways, so as you can see here, different individuals and different kinds of groups actually come to these events and actually set up their layouts to display to the public. Now, this is a 2-day event from Saturday and Sunday. This one took place in Del Mar, California, when it was still being held at Del Mar, California. It's no longer there anymore. It's moved to Costa Mesa. And actually, there's European layouts here at the train shows as well. So it's not just American, it's also European. So you can actually see this European layout that's being showed right now to you through the pictures that I took, as well as my assistants. You can see the European locomotives, the little European ski slopes and everything. It's really cool how they managed to do this. And again, this is something of a rarity that you don't really see in a lot of big populated areas. So it's really good to see the layouts make an appearance, because kids love these layouts when they actually go to these events like the model train shows. And they're actually starting to do what's called show how to run model trains on a layout. They're actually teaching and showing kids on how to run a model train so that they can actually get that spark, or that bug, if you will, to get into model railroading. I got that bug around 12 or 10 years old. I can't remember which age. But as soon as I saw a model train layout in HO scale at Ridgecrest Kern County Fairgrounds, I was hooked then and have been ever since. And I'm 27 years old now, so you can see the difference and tell the difference. In this case, this is an N-scale layout with military tanks and the coaster and all that. It's really cool. And then there's this layout that's also an N-scale part of the layout, and it's got a little fantasy thing going to it, which is pretty cool. You would want to see something like that to draw the kids in and say, hey, this is what we did. This is what we created. Check it out. Here's a G-scale layout as well. So you have private individuals who have different kinds of module layouts, and they hook it up to other individual module layouts owned by different individuals as themselves. And then they completely make an entire layout as soon as they have enough module pieces. Like in this case you see here, this one's a module layout. Someone built these by themselves at home, and then as soon as they got done with it, they hooked it up to another person's individual module layout, and there you go. You got an entire train layout going there, which is pretty cool. It makes it easier to move these things around. Because if they're module, they're much more smaller in size and more easier to transport for certain individuals. Anyways, that's enough about module layouts. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. We also have the train clubs that actually help host the events as well as display model train layouts, as you see here. This one's a G-scale layout that I'm pretty sure could have been individually owned, or it could have been club owned. I'm not sure. But model train clubs are actually tucked away in secret kind of locations, kind of. They're well known to the public a little bit, but not much. They do have certain limitations of public outreach, because a lot of them are old school old timers, to tell the truth, that don't really know how to work a computer to help promote their club, their hobby. It's sometimes like that. Anyways, they're starting to catch up to the digital age now, which is very good. I hope that continues. So, enough about the club layouts and model train layouts and all that. Let's go over the vendors. As you see in this photograph in the background, you can see like tons of boxes stacked up and all that. Now, in this case, when you go to a train show, a model train show, there's going to be vendors as well as the model train layouts. Vendors actually sell model trains that are no longer on the market. They're pretty much old new stock run, or old stock runs that just aren't made anymore. So they're pretty hard to find. And a lot of individuals like myself go to these train shows to get these particular rare items that you can't just find on the open market anymore, such as eBay, Amazon. Well, Amazon doesn't really sell anything of model train value, but modeltrainstuff.com, trainworld.com, you name it. Any place that's online or a hobby shop per se, they don't sell that kind of stuff anymore. As soon as they get new stock, they just say, we're going to get rid of all this old new stock that hasn't sold, and we're going to make sure that we'll go to train shows to help sell the product that people have been searching for a very long time, which is someone like me. So let's go into a little bit of the budgeting area for model train enthusiasts like myself, who actually tend to carry money to these events and buy all these model trains that we don't really have an easy time finding. So when it comes to a model train show, sometimes you can have a budget of, let's say, hundreds of dollars to $1,000. You don't carry millions of dollars to these events. You just carry thousands or hundreds of dollars, depending on whichever budget you had it for. Now, in my case, I'm an HO scale model train enthusiast, so I have to save up thousands of dollars instead of $100 from time to time. Now, saving up $100 here and there is actually going to help you in the long run to get to these model train shows. I save up at least a good amount of money, like $800, to get to this train show and buy all the new stock product of basically that you can't just find on any open market anymore, like I said. So the model train budgeting that you have to do is so tedious. Like in this case, let's say for example you have $5,000. Okay, let's take $500 out of that $5,000 for gas, food, possible hotel rooms, whichever, because this is a 2-day event. You want to be close to it to get more model trains, right? So you would basically say, okay, so I got $4,500 to play with. Let's actually split that up for the 2-day event. So $2,000 you would have for the first day of the event, which is a Saturday. They always have these things on the weekends, never the weekdays. So you're going to be very well taken care of in that regard, instead of having to worry about if you go to school on the weekdays like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You don't have to worry about that. They don't do that on those days. It's only a 2-day event, and it's 1 year round. Okay? So each year they have these events for 2 days, Saturdays and Sundays. So back to the budgeting. Again, you got like $4,500 after you took $500 out of the $5,000, and you're stuck with $4,500. So let's say I want to save $2,000 for the other day, which is Sunday. And Saturday, I spend $2,000 on all the model trains I can get my hands on that I can carry for that particular day. Now, people carry backpacks like myself. We carry bags. We carry whatever we can, carry for open containers that we can transport our model trains in safely without them being damaged. Now, sometimes you're going to be going home with a lot more than you actually intended to, which is what I usually have happen to me. But that's okay. You're there to have fun mainly, and just to shop for model train stuff that you don't get on the open market. Now, in this case, I want to warn everybody in advance. You might want to carry only a few $100 bills and the rest in 20s and 10s and 5s and $1 bills. And don't take all of that money with you for that particular day if you can. Try to make sure that you at least find someplace good to hide your money in, and if you got like $4,500, just make sure that you actually don't carry too much money. Sometimes people are going to see that if you're at the register and purchasing your model trains. But fear not, some model train vendors actually use credit cards. Now, I'm not sure which ones always do that, because it's different vendors every time. So it's really more, you should just carry cash on hand. So just be careful. Okay, so again, a few $100 bills here and there, and the rest has to be in 20s, 10s, 5s, and $1 bills. That way you can actually help the vendor break change, because sometimes they're not going to have, the ability to break $100 bills into change for you. It's not going to happen all the time. So just be aware of that. Now, let's say, for example, I'm looking for the most rarest locomotive that I can't find, and it's in brass. Brass has kind of taken a hit lately because a lot of people just don't buy it anymore. It's too expensive. It used to be in the $3,000 range. I'm sorry, not $300,000, only $3,000 range. And sometimes I hear it's an iffy with those things, with the brass models, because a lot of the time they don't run well with the motors that they have inside them. Now, I'm not sure about that 100%, so again, don't quote me on this. I'm not sure. This is all hearsay, what I've been understanding. Ooh, excuse me. Anyways, so a lot of you will actually be wondering, well, okay, so we have the general type of model train shows that just, showcase layouts and do the vendors and all that. But what about other types of model train shows? Well, actually, believe it or not, there's actually maybe 1 or 2 different types of model train shows, like the one you're seeing here, where they have the vendors here. Then there's the one that actually does the whole manufacturers get-together, where they have the manufacturers of all the model trains that you can actually purchase. Like, let's say, for example, Broadway Limited, Athearn Trains, Intermountain Model Railway Company, Katy, just tons of other manufacturers that manufacture model trains every single day. those are going to be like the national NMRA conventions. Those are going to be the guys that you want to usually sometimes go to in order to find out what new model train is going to come onto the open market. So that's usually the fun part of these model train shows. There's actually different types of model train shows to go to in order to find out what's going on with the model train manufacturing community, what's coming out for the open market from these model train manufacturers, and so on. So it's really cool to go to these events. And I recently saw at the Costa Mesa Train Show that they're actually now having people who want to teach on how to make model train scenery, such as bushes from scratch, how to make them from scratch, how to make rock molds from scratch, how to make a building, detail buildings, weather, all kinds of stuff. So it's really cool to see that happen now. And a lot of kids are actually seeing model train layouts that they can actually operate and run. Now, it's not a terribly expensive model train that they actually run. It's actually something that they can just replace easily from one of the vendors if they had to, really, for a convenience factor. So it's really cool to be at these events, because you're going to see a lot of those vendors sometimes help out the model train clubs and the showcase layouts and all that. Here's a particular photo of showing you how many scales there are. There's G scale, O scale, O27, you name it, HO scale, S scale, Z scale, N scale, just so many different scales that you can imagine it, and it's right there. And this is how huge these layouts get. You can see how many tracks they can squeeze into one particular scene, and it's so amazing because it takes so much time and effort. And a lot of these layouts, they only showcase these year-round. So if you ever get a chance, go to a model train show and take a look at all this stuff that you don't really get to see in everyday life. Sometimes they're just tucked away in garages, model train club, secluded areas, you name it. And sometimes they're in museums if you're lucky enough to see one in a museum. So that's pretty much it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Comment, like, subscribe. If you've got any questions, throw them down in the comment section below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Lone Wolf 777 signing off. See you down the rails. Peace out, and have a good day.